What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Smacy, glad to have you. Today I'm going to be doing this look. It is an army green eyeshadow tutorial. My dad and my brother were both in the army, so I'm calling this army green, not olive, army green. I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics Zodiac Palette. I love this palette. I did another tutorial with it if you guys want to go check it out. It was a weird but wearable look. It was a little more purple and greenish gold eyeshadow look, but yeah, I just absolutely love this palette. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Start by priming my eyes with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I'm going to set that with that base shade all the way to the left in that Makeup Revolution. It's basically the Kat Von D Shade and Light dupe palette. Then I'm going to go into that middle shade, the contour shade in the palette with a large fluffy brush. And I'm just going to put that in my crease, up onto my brow bone, onto my lid, just, you know, wherever it wants to fall. I'm just going to use it to help blend out the next shade. So I'm going to go into the Capricorn Duo in the BH Cosmetics Zodiac Palette. I'm taking a Real Techniques Essential Crease brush and kind of messily, I must admit, I'm putting that kind of into my crease on the outer part of my eye, just swirling it around and making sure it's nice and diffused. Yes, my eyebrows are kind of growing all over the place, but I'm in the process of growing them out, so sometimes when I'm doing that it makes it a little harder to blend, but it's not that big of a deal. But I'm doing the same thing on my inner corner and blending that right up into the arch right underneath my brow bone. Just kind of putting that in the socket, leaving the space right above my iris blank. Do the same thing to both sides and just make sure that I have the shape right. Sometimes I have to go back and forth with my shape just to make sure the shapes match on both sides. Then I'm going to put like a cotton pad right beneath my eye to catch any fallout. I'm going to take the shimmery shade from Capricorn and I'm patting that right in the center of my lid where I left that empty space. I don't want it to get too far to one edge or the other though, so I want to make sure that I keep that right in the center and then don't overblend the edges. I love these big shadows. They almost look wet. Do the same thing on the other side, of course. Making sure I keep it in the center of my lid, keeping that cotton pad until I get most of the pigment down, just so I can keep most of that sparkle off my face. Then I'm going to take a Morphe M504 brush and I'm just going to pat some more of that matte green shade on the inner and outer corner of my eye just to make sure, but I don't want to get it into the shimmer too much because I don't want to move that shimmer around. I want to make sure that the matte is layered nicely on top there. For foundation, I'm going to take the BH Cosmetics CC Cream and thin it out with the RCMA foundation thinner and then just put that on with a Real Techniques sculpting brush. For concealer, I'm going to use that same Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This is the shade C1. I'm just going to put a little bit under my eyes if for no other reason than to just highlight and also cover up the blue veins on the inner part of my eye there. And just pat that in with the Real Techniques sculpting brush. I'll clean up my eyeshadow in just a second. Just going to smooth over that with a beauty blender to make sure that nothing looks too cakey and doesn't crease up. But this concealer just really doesn't crease that much, so I really like to put it under my eyes and of course anywhere that I have lines, but I'm using it to highlight the other parts of my face that I want to add some highlight to. Down the bridge of my nose, center of my forehead, outer corners of my mouth, chin, patting it in with the sculpting brush and then going back over it with a beauty blender to make sure it's all smoothed out. Then I'm going to take that concealer again on a Real Techniques Dome Shadow brush and just go around my nose just to cover up any of the blood vessels that might be showing or any redness. Just gonna set everywhere that I put that concealer until I take the shine down. So what I like to do with this powder is I like to go in light layers of it instead of just globbing a bunch on all at once. I like to take light layers of it until I've knocked the shine back to an acceptable level. Then I'm going to go back over that. I'm just going to roll my Beauty Blender lightly around in that Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Ethereal Light. And then I'm just going to pat that under my eyes a little bit. I'm not baking with it, but using the sponge to apply it helps keep my mascara from transferring. Then I'm going back into that Makeup Revolution Light and Shade palette and the Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush. Putting that all over my bottom lash line, but just really messily. It almost looks, you know, to make it almost look like a shadow, like a sickly shadow as opposed to, you know, an actual eyeshadow. I don't know if that makes sense. And then I'm just buffing out the edges of all of that just to make sure it's clean where I kind of got foundation on it maybe. So I'm going to take the e.l.f. smudge brush back into the matte green shade and put that right on the outer part of my eye and just on my lower lash line in general. Just smudging that all over really close to my waterline. Then I'm going to take the Morphe M504 brush and just promptly blend that right out. I'm going into the shimmery green shade in Capricorn again. I'm taking this on a Q-tip though because it just helps get it to adhere to my skin a little better, since obviously I can't really use my finger to put it on my lower lid without it getting all over the place. I'm just taking a Q-tip and doing it. It seems to work better for me at least than a brush does, even wetting a brush with those big shadows. Then I'm going to take this brown eyeliner pencil. I actually got this in the mail with my Makeup Revolution fast-based stick foundation, and yeah, I guess this was just like a freebie they gave me, and I've actually been liking it so far. It's just a warm brown eyeliner, but I love wearing warm brown eyeliners with cool tone looks because I think it just really helps make the color more vibrant. Then I'm gonna take the NYX Micro Brow Pencil and fill in my brows a little bit. Mainly I'm just darkening them because honestly my brows are already pretty full. Like I said, I am growing them out, so I'm just gonna extend them out a little bit and just use that pencil to darken them just so they, you know, match my hair, which also needs to be redone, but even still it just, you know, make it all match a little bit better, I guess. Then I'm gonna set that with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. For bronzer, I'm going to go into this old MAC bronzer that I have. It was from like the Wash and Dry collection from a few years back. I've been trying to get some use out of it. I'm just going to put that on my cheeks. I'm not going to take that up onto my forehead or anything. I've just been experimenting with bronzer placement lately. Then again, trying to take this old product and get use out of it. It's that Benefit Dallas blush from this is from like the Cheekathon palette from a few years back. I'm just gonna use that right there. It's a pretty cool tone blush. I think it works pretty well with this eye look. Then I'm gonna go back into that Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder and Diffuse Light. Just gonna take that same brush I've been using and just buff that over top of my bronzer and blush, tone it down a bit. Then I'm going to take Becca's Vanilla Quartz highlighter. I love this. This is like my favorite highlighter of all time. This is actually pretty similar to the highlight that comes in the Zodiac palette, but I definitely prefer the Becca formula better. Just taking that Real Techniques setting brush to put it on. I love this highlight because it really makes my cheekbones more prominent than other highlights that I use because it definitely has that color shift. And that's the reason I love it, because it just makes me look like I have sharper cheekbones. I don't know. For lips, and I think this lipstick goes really well with this look. This is the Kat Von D Lolita lipstick. I've actually worn this eye look in the past few days. I wore it with no lipstick. I've worn it with like a cool toned brownish grayish lipstick, but this is probably my favorite way I've worn it is with this Lolita lipstick. I think it goes really well like with the muted green. And that's the finished look. Well, nope, just kidding. I have to curl my lashes and then put mascara on. Oh, this mascara. I'm like determined to get use out of it because it was like 13 bucks, but it's like the new Pacifica mascara. And I'm gonna show you here. This is gonna be kind of a demo. That is the first coat, and that's a painstaking coat. Went on for a long time before I finally got it to that point. Then, I mean, I put 3 coats of this stuff on. So that's 1 coat right there. Going back in with the 2nd coat. There it is. Not too bad. And then the 3rd coat. Now we're getting somewhere. But honestly, it took so long to get to that point that I just don't know if that mascara is worth it. I'm going to use it some more before I make up my mind definitively. But there you have it. That is the finished look, guys. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber and you want to be, hit the subscribe button on your way out. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.